we hope you've missed us. And for those of you who haven't realized it, we have not been on for a couple of weeks.
Isn't that sad?
Have you noticed?
I'm very sad. I like
I'm
to
not
do
as
things on
sad.
a regular basis.
I like to do things when there's something to talk about.
You can't pound on the
And
table.
and that bothers me. So there already I'm pissed off and don't want to do the show. Don't stop pounding. I just feel like sometimes we do the show and we turn to each other 5 minutes before and go, oh, what should we talk about? What should we talk
We
about?
always
That's
find
no
something,
good.
don't we?
No, I don't like it as much as being prepared.
I just think our
And feeling
fans,
like
and we have
gung-ho about
like
our subject.
5,000 fans now.
I know.
That's pretty darn exciting.
It is. Very, very, very
I
exciting.
don't know that all of them are actually tuning in every week, but
Well,
you know what? Maybe some of them miss us.
I know some do. Let's not go into it. It's not about us. It's about what we're going to talk about today, which I think relates to everybody in our audience, and any audience.
My favorite subject,
Oh, yeah.
personally.
It's food. Food, the differences
Glorious
that Anne-Marie
food.
and I have when it comes to food, restaurants, the Food Network, food stars. I mean, this is a
We just
country
ran a-
obsessed, a world obsessed with food. Obviously, well, I shouldn't say that. It really is a country obsessed with food. Because not everybody
Well, it really
in the
is
world
us obsessed
has
with food.
Well, Americans are obsessed with food. Look at us. Look at us.
But
Go
this
to
is-
an airport,
By
go
the
to a
way,
casino.
may I say, this is my breakfast. Not good.
Not good at all.
Not good at all.
I don't
Especially
know.
Since I worked out this
I
morning.
don't know why though. Why can't you have? What is it that you couldn't have? Fruit and cottage
I could
cheese.
have some fruit.
Or, yeah.
I mean, I have a bucket of melon in the refrigerator.
You're not big on fruit and vegetables,
No.
are you?
But I do eat them.
And you
I
don't
do eat them.
drink a lot,
I don't
with the
drink enough.
exception of alcohol.
I don't drink
But
enough.
you
I don't
don't-
drink enough liquid, and
You
that's
definitely
really
don't.
true.
Yeah, and that's
That
a
is
big thing for you.
big
I
miss
think it
for
makes
me.
you cranky.
But you know,
I really
no,
do.
you make me cranky, honey.
Oh.
You make
It's
me
one
cranky.
or the other. Well, there
Uh,
was good news today, though, in the newspapers and on the.
The story on donuts?
No, the story. See,
Was
again,
it
you're
the
not
story
in the
on
right
donuts?
spirit on this.
You think?
It was the story again, the wonder of chocolate. Thank God. 5 days a week of regular chocolate eating, and when I say regular,
A
Anne-Marie,
piece.
yes, a 1 ounce bite of
Got a
dark
bag of
chocolate.
Raisinets, I take
Darn
it.
it. Reduced people's BMI by 1 point.
Really?
And 1 point on someone my height is like 7 pounds.
Really?
In BMI. 1 point someone on your height might be 5 pounds.
And
That's a lot of weight.
I love that.
Yes,
It's a great
it
story.
revs up your metabolism. It's also good for the heart. But again, obviously,
we are
it's the
obsessed.
moderation.
It's not so much that we're
Darn it.
obsessed with food. I think it's we're obsessed with body image, how we look, and that of course has is impacted by how much we.
You
eat.
and I.
No, I think everybody.
I don't think all Americans are obsessed with body image. That would be hard to believe based on the bodies I've seen. I think they're more
Well, they're
obsessed with eating. And I think Marissa, who works in our office, has mentioned she's from the Midwest, and she says that world is markedly, and you could probably share some of this with us because we're East Coast people, markedly different. The amount of fast food restaurants per square inch, she says you just drive along one after another. There's nothing healthy to choose from. People don't look good. She says you would be shocked, because we think people here don't look that good. She would be shocked how much better people look in Boston, she says, than they look in Illinois or in Ohio.
I don't think you can make generalizations like that, but whatever.
That's what I'm only basing it on what she tells us.
I think honestly, well, and Marissa tells us quite a few stories. We love you, Marissa.
Yeah. Well,
But
we
this
know
is-
the South and the way. I mean, look at Paula Deen.
In terms of
That whole story.
menu, in terms of menu.
Yes, chicken fried steak. I mean, that doesn't exist here, and it just
Mm.
sounds good, though. It sounds
Yummy.
good. I want to try it someday. I've never had it. And fried chicken and waffles. Where did all that come? Sounds good. I have had that. That is delicious.
Who's doing that now? That's
Fried chicken and waffles?
No, that's the fried chicken and waffles is in a new movie
Oh,
that
it
John
is?
Hamm is in, and that
Friends with
yes, benefits, something like that.
That's
Yeah,
not
that's
what
not
it's
it.
called. That's not what it
Who
Dave
cares?
will post
Who
what
cares,
the
right.
heck the name of the movie is.
Right.
But
But we do a lot. Not only do we talk about food a lot because the agency is filled with women and we're all obsessed with it, but a lot of what we do is around food. For example, this whole pop-up idea,
Yeah,
pop-up
pop-up
meals
restaurants.
and restaurants. We're going to do a project like that for one of our clients,
Yeah.
and we just did a whole show on our new project.
Yep, food truck
Food
festivals.
truck festivals.
Food trucks are obviously, huge
Big,
for
big.
food, and the Food Network has caught on to that. What is your trigger food? Like, I am all about cheese. I could really care less about dessert. I could, sweets are not my thing.
Protein. I like a lot of protein. I
Cheese,
like
as
meat.
you know me, you're a
Meat, chicken, poultry,
Salami you like, that's a trigger food for you, don't you think?
cold cuts.
Yeah.
I'm Hungarian.
You're
I mean, what can I say?
That's your upbringing.
And French.
Yeah.
And they could take a loaf of bread and make a meal out of a loaf of bread and a few cold cuts and some cheese.
And that's
Perfect.
a great meal, and
Great
that's
meal.
a trigger food for you. If you had that in front of you, you could not help yourself but dive in. I mean, for me, it's
Well, now I have-
cheese.
I help myself every single day not to dive in. It's a constant struggle.
Yeah.
And I'm fascinated by what works for people. I mean, I'm the first one to buy the People magazine that shows people have just lost,
I love
those
that.
diets.
I
And
live
how
for
they
that
do that.
issue. I live for that. And I guess it's a
And
reflection on
every
my lack of
every
discipline. It's the
single day.
people who say, and I accomplished this by being, stringent or diligent for a year. That is hard. It is. I mean,
What is hard? Which
to
part?
do to be disciplined for 1 year of your life.
We're doing it right now.
No, we're not. You don't think we're going to have a drink? You don't think we're going to have
I
pizza
know, but those are my
someday?
points. I store those points.
I'm just saying it's very different when you really stick to something for 1 year. Listen, we're both
How long did it
Weight
take
Watchers.
Oprah to lose that weight?
I think it was a year, and it was the OptiFast diet. I think
Was
she
it
was.
OptiFast? I
Yeah.
don't remember
And you know
anymore.
what? And I look back at that picture the famous picture of her with the wagon
Pulling
with
the
the fat on it.
right.
She didn't look good. She looked skinny, but her face didn't look good. I don't think that was a healthy diet at all. I mean, we all know a liquid diet, is
No, but
not a great way to eat.
I'm not on a liquid
No,
diet.
I know,
This
I'm
is-
just, you know.
This
what I'm
is
saying.
an
I'm
eat
kidding
and
you.
run kind of thing.
I'm kidding
And
you.
Tuesdays are
But
tough for me, and it happens
Breakfast,
to be
lunch, and
Tuesday.
dinner of liquid. You can
Yeah,
just not
no.
stick to it. It's not realistic.
But
And-
I think about some of the other diets of people, other people who've been on ongoing
Kirstie,
diets.
I mean, I like Kirstie Alley, even though she's got some cockamamie product line. I like that she lost her way through dancing. I love, even though I think, was it Mariah Carey who just
Yes.
said 80% of weight loss is the
Yes.
food side, and unfortunately 20% is the exercise.
I think she said
And-
10% by the
Oh,
way.
is it 10 and 90? And I think she's
Unfortunately.
right. Unfortunately, she's
And there
right.
I am at
'cause-
the gym every single morning.
Well, if you weren't, imagine. If you weren't. Plus, it's more than you're
it's
losing
hard
weight.
and yeah.
And
it's
head. I don't feel
Doesn't
good
help
if
me
I
with my
don't do
head.
something
Oh, I
every
feel
day.
totally fine. Totally fine.
We're different.
I could skip it honestly every single day.
And you know
I
what
don't
else?
like it, but I do it. It's like I don't like being on a diet. I'd love to have cold cuts.
Of course, but
And
you do
salami
it.
and cheese
'cause
and a
you
nice-
have to.
French, crusty, yummy.
But you know what
bread.
else is different about us? I know it's hard to believe there's more difference.
Blonde, brunette,
No.
funny, not so funny.
Restaurant service.
Smart, not
service.
smart?
The service
yes.
question in a restaurant. I have gone out to dinner with Anne Marie Eigner, obviously countless times. I've known her for 30 years. And I could count on 2 hands the number of times you didn't ask for the manager.
Mhm.
Am I right?
Yep. And I'm a big yelper, by the way. Keep that in mind. I'm a big yelper.
What are your pet peeves?
Bad service.
I know, but what's bad? In other words, I've sat with you where
Attitude,
I have sat
attitude.
down, literally sat down and just gotten my coat off and sort of settled in, and what have you said to me? Where's the waiter? You feel, it's always, you feel like it's been an hour, when it's been like a minute 30, if.
Because I'm hungry.
But you're not known for
I'm not known
patience.
for my patience.
But you do demand good service, and you're not alone in that. You reward. What I do like about you is if you get good service,
I
you're
go
the
on Yelp and
first
I'm the first one to say
to
it.
say how great someone
Yeah.
is, and you're the first to go to a manager and say what a great
Yeah.
waiter. So
I
that
believe in
side
that.
of the point is fantastic. But you are a demanding customer
I am.
on almost
I think I'm a
everything.
demanding person. Boss, mother, daughter,
Didn't come from me.
cousin,
Didn't come from me.
whatever.
You are. You
I
have
am.
that. You have high expectations
But I
for the
give
people
as
around
much
you.
as
You
I
do,
get.
and as I say, you recognize it when you get good service and good help, and so that side of it is great. But I'm much more. I get embarrassed by you.
Well, you're, you don't like anger.
I don't like to upset the
Yeah.
apple
But
cart.
I could care less
I'd
about
rather
upsetting.
be hungry.
I think it's my lot in life.
And plus, and what I find with some people, not you, is that they'll blame a waiter for things he has absolutely nothing to do. If the kitchen is sloppy, the kitchen does a bad job, you don't blame the waiter because your food is undercooked. But sometimes people do take it out on that person who's just the messenger.
First of all, I was a waitress. I put myself through college as a waitress.
Yeah.
And I was a great waitress. Really great. And if I were in that situation and the kitchen was slow, I would come out and say something to my customers.
Well, that's fair.
Or I would bring them an extra plate of olives.
That's fair.
Something that was free. I would say, I'm sorry. It's like when we had the food truck festival last year in the fall, and the people were waiting for 2 hours for, a grilled cheese sandwich.
Mm.
And we were like, I felt horrible. And I was personally going up and down the line, apologizing. Luckily, people were, don't worry about it. We're
They
fine.
expected it, yeah.
Well, they said it's part of the experience, but it makes me feel bad when I see people being served with anything that I have anything to do with, with bad service.
Well,
so I'm sorry about that, but that's
okay.
the way I feel.
I know. Well, I don't try not to eat out too frequently, but you're
I go alone.
You certainly are a very good cook. I am not. I did just
I'm basic, though. I'm basic.
You are, which your mother probably was. Right. Again, the
basic.
Hungarian.
A lot of roast chicken and a lot of,
good solid food.
Stuff.
Good Now, I was thinking...
I don't do frou-frou.
I don't know
I'm not good at
you
I don't even order frou-frou when I'm out.
Yeah, you don't like frou-frou. I love frou-frou. I'll do anything. I'll go to I love a fine restaurant. I love a fine dining experience. It just makes me feel great. I know that's not your thing.
I like
but I was
Food Network
thinking of
shows
my
too, by the
growth in childhood. And I don't know, did you do takeout when you were young?
No, not much.
Well, we once a week, my father, who was a small businessman in town, a retailer, would come home with Chinese food. It was like a big deal at one night a week. And now I'm thinking, what did we eat? Chicken chow mein, which I don't think I've had
since.
Right, that was
really?
that was Chinese food when we were kids. Chicken chow mein,
oh, my parents didn't
white rice,
Chinese food,
and an egg roll. And now, I mean, with the exception of maybe the rice, which we'd ask for brown now, I don't even know. That's obsolete, but that was avant-garde in those days.
No sushi back then, huh?
Oh no. Not when I was a kid. You didn't.
I don't think
raw
you ate
fish
raw fish.
was like you were poor.
Right.
You were poor if you had to have raw fish because you couldn't afford to cook it.
Isn't it interesting though how things change?
Yes.
Seriously.
Yes, and I think you're right. The Food Network has driven a lot of it.
I love that. I love that network.
Oh, I love it too.
Love everything about it.
I love it too. And there's probably I wouldn't be surprised if there's a lot of more to come.
Knockoffs.
It's so successful,
yeah.
You can't imagine that soon there'll be
now there's a whole lot of cooking
Junior.
shows and everybody. I mean, you've got Jada and you've got...
Oh, yeah? I
haven't
seen that one.
She has a show, and you have
Channel 2,
Ramsay, Chef Ramsay has a show.
Yeah, GBH does America's Test Kitchen, which is a very great show for those who like to cook. And yeah, I'm telling you, the world is all about food, and the Boomer Broads support that notion.
Who does? Who isn't?
We love it. And did you want to add anything? Because
no.
Time is tight. We did
we're not.
Nice, tight show.
Everything else that I'm doing here is we can talk about later. But the only other story I actually brought in was this man who was disqualified because he wasn't a woman in the Miss Universe contest in Canada.
Petty.
I think it's, really,
details. But I did think it was funny that the most attractive woman in Canada is a man.
Turns out to be a man.
That wasn't a great comment on the country, but he is hot.
And now you got the brothel story, right?
Yeah, now they're going to
legalize brothels.
Legalize brothels. Canada's wild today. Well, we've gone from food to Canada in a quick turn, but we'll speak to you next week, and
have a great
thanks,
week.
Everyone.